Hello and welcome to the next episode of this series, which is all about this Lego room and of course my life. Now it's been a minute, I've got to apologise, I have not actually been able to film up here for nearly a month. I have been away travelling well to all of the different Legoland parks and they are all been uploaded onto the channel with all the different stores, the rides and different things like that. And then we went away to a toy fair and then we've gone to IKEA. They're all as exciting as each other, but it does mean I have been quite busy. But yesterday, off camera, and with the help of Jay's Toy Collection UK, we did a live that wasn't live. We did like a private stream between each other and bounced a load of ideas around of what we can do in here, because he has just started his own Lego collection as well. So head over to his channel for lots and lots of toy news, and then I think we might be doing a lot more Lego related content together as well, which is fantastic. But because it's been so long since I've been in here and it has been a disaster with regards to me how I left here, because I pulled one of the tables out, if you remember, and then I couldn't fit the Colosseum in, which is now behind that screen, and it's all gone very, very messy. I've basically forgotten what I was supposed to be doing. So we are going to do a recap of what I've moved, what the future plans are with regards to the brand new sets that will be coming out over the next couple of weeks, and then we should be able to get back on track. So with that being said, let's get to it. We will start off with this disaster, which is just this. So I have been so busy with video files that I have actually got an old computer out and a screen, and I've been trying to do dual editing. So I've had the laptop over in one corner, I've tried to get this set up with an external hard drive on another, because there are now two channels running. There's a Global Life Travels channel and obviously the one that you're watching this on, which is the Brick Life Travels channel. So if you want to find out more information about hotels and basically all different theme park related content, but it's not Lego related, but it is linked to the Legoland trips that I've just done, head over to the Global Life Travels channel. The link will be in the description, then you can check out all of those bits and pieces. But because there is so many video files and the files are so big, there is close to 1,000, yes, 1,000 gigabytes of files. It takes forever. So I've basically set up a temporary station just here to try and help with the workload. And then over here is where the laptop has been. So don't worry about this bit, because we will cover that bit in a section. But this is where it now starts to go a little bit, yeah. So this monstrosity just here needs a new home. So as it stands right now, it got dumped on that table after making a right meal of trying to get it on the display. But we might have a solution for it. We might actually use it in the Star Wars display, which is going to be a long-term project, and it's under construction underneath there. But I need to get some Kallaxes and all the other little bits and pieces. But what I want to do is basically do it in one hit. I just want to do it in one weekend. I want to finish the display. I want to get the Kallaxes, get all of the sets, get all of that built and done. So the Star Wars stuff is happening, but it's been put on the back burner, but not so much. It's just basically going to be a shock and awe attack, and it's all going to be done at the same time. So if I give you a quick rundown of what's gone on underneath here, all of the Star Wars stuff is together. Now this is actually all glitter paint underneath here. It's all been repainted. That got done a couple of weeks ago, and it makes a massive difference with regards to that. The plan is to get another Kallax, which is a 4 cube, and split it just like this. And then they're going to be coming down this side as well, and obviously all of these. Now I have managed to pick up this, which was actually the giveaway purchase, and I didn't need to worry about it because I actually got it from the toy fair that we went to as a group, which was a good bit of fun. And there then led ideas to what needs to be done in what order, because how it got left was a right nightmare. The plan was just to get that in ready for the Dungeons and Dragons, and then we were good on that bit, and it failed and it kind of knocked everything back. But with a couple of the moves that happened yesterday, and like I said, this is what I'm going to be sharing with you now, hopefully you'll like it. I can tweak and change some bits and pieces, and then I'll explain what is going on with this now gap behind me, and then this is where the series will continue and kick back off again with basically a brand new display. So I'm looking forward to that. But this is going to be going in here with all the cantina and all the other little bits and pieces. This should make a nice little display once it's all together. I've got all the little Star Wars boxes down there, and there's obviously the ghosts and stuff to build. So there is a fair bit that needs doing, but I think we can get on with that. Now, where do I start? Where do we start? We'll start where I'm stood. We'll do a full loop all the way around the room. I'll just show you the sets. So we'll start off with what hopefully you guys and girls will know is going to be this Jurassic Park section, which is this thing just here. Now the laptop was literally here. I've actually got it down in a different room at the moment. There's loads and loads of files I'm currently rendering, and I'm getting uploads ready for this evening. So that is now in another room, just basically ticking over. So this table, or this half a table just here, the plan of attack for that is the gates, the treehouse, the loop roller coaster, which needs to be purchased, and then the actual Jurassic Park sets as well. Now, it's either its own complete standalone land, or it merges in to the next thing. Now, if you remember rightly, the last episode, we said we're going to do this really nice mythical type section. We still can, but it's got a bit of a twist to it, because I've had to move some bits and pieces that I wasn't happy with, and I've accidentally found a perfect shape set for this area. It's now going to stay in there as its coffee house. Now, it's actually the set from the Lego Movie 2, which is this thing just here. Now, this is gorgeous, and it is probably my most rarest set, because it was out less than a year, this set was, because the film was so bad they pulled it. And I got this set from Legoland Windsor on the first day the park was, in fact the park wasn't even supposed to be open. There's a big story behind the set, that's why I got a really big soft spot to it, but it works perfectly because we have the coffee bit just underneath, and then on the side here we've got all the different signs where it says lookout, coffee shop, diner. So it makes sense as like a food hub on the central island. But then beside that, I've also put the haunted house, because I think the haunted house looks great with the He-Man castle. Now, if I was to step over to this side, you would then see Snake Mountain, which I have got ready to be built just there, which was the bargain of the year. So that is going to be good fun to put that together. So that works as a trio. So we've got basically the haunted house with the graveyard going in front of it. We've got the coffee shop just as a pathway, so you can see just how this is going to work with the path. And then you got the two bits and pieces there. But then that then leads us on to the next pair that I think works really well together, which is going to be the Rivendell. Because if you look through here and I start to pan down and make it all arty, you can see that you've got a really nice little walkway that will loop round. You've got the water that's going to be doable. You can walk through, up. You've then got the Stranger Things, and if you just keep going through, so I can get the camera through without knocking anything, which is perfect. You've then got the bit underneath the tree beside the Stranger Things, which is obviously the Harry Potter. And then from here now, we've got the Dungeons and Dragons. So if I start to step around this corner, you get a really nice look at the D&D set. And I think that looks very, very colourful and impressive. And then as we start coming up and across the top, just like this, you then get a really, really nice look at all of the different leaves. So it just, these three work really well with the blues, the greens, the oranges. And again, you've got the same green on this set to this one to this one. But if I go over the top, you can see the path that it's created. So I need to now come up with a slightly different take on this with regards to, we've got the ride, that's why I'll put that in here. So the ride now is the drop tower. We've got the eatery, we've got the game, so we can have a nice little games with the D&D, and then we've got tables and chairs for the Lord of the Rings. Now, I think the Lord of the Rings flat looks nice. Of course, I could raise it up a little bit higher, so it's just staggered ever so slightly. So potentially we could just raise that up with basically like fake mountains and that kind of thing, just to give it its higher perspective. And then we could have like a little path going up to the top. That could potentially work. But for now, as a basic layout, it's just going to be, you've got the Snake Mountain just down there. We'll put a little grave bit just in front of it. And then as we come around, the footpath will change colour depending on the area that you're in. But as all these big sets are, the fact that you can see them all, I think it works quite well. So then that leads us on to the next area, which is going to be over by the Harry Potter. Is this bit just here. Now, as it stands at the moment, that is just going to stay as it is. There are going to be a lot of movements happening very, very soon, and the future plans for this is we want to try and get the Hogwarts Castle up on there, and then maybe redo the Harry Potter section, or it gets picked up and it gets moved completely. I'll show you that in a second. But this thing just here, this got placed there just before I went off and started to film all the different theme parks. Obviously, it was just dumped there. Now, that is going to get rebuilt later on today, hopefully ready for the next upload that will be following this one. So I'm going to try and film a couple of these over the next day or two, and then I know that you guys have got something to watch and I'm making progress. But that is a 3-in-1, and you can make a drop tower ride. So that is going to be a nice little drop tower for a space cosmic robotic theme, which then takes us over to this bit, because that's where it's going to be going. So we're going to get all of the ships back out. We're going to do all of that kind of things. That was the plan. We've got a huge area just here. I've already put the gaming truck over here. Obviously, this got badly smashed and damaged. That needs to be repaired. And then we can make a really nice display of all of the sort of space type stuff with the Marvel stuff, which means then we can incorporate the more X-Men bits and pieces over this way and all of that kind of thing with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and just it will work well because obviously this whole area over here is all of our sort of Marvel bits up to obviously the Ghostbuster Firehouse, but it does make sense with what we have started to do, and obviously this will just all start to come together once the road plates are down. But this is going to be ready for the new set that has just been announced, or will be coming out now, which is also available for pre-order, which is the robotic roller coaster. So that now has a roller coaster in this section, there's a roller coaster in this section, and then there'll be a roller coaster in this section, which is perfect. You've got a laser shooter there from Dubai. You then got the carousel. So the carousel has now been put into that corner, and we are going to make, in one of the uploads, a really nice diorama with the Punisher. So if you know, you know with regards to that one. Don't want to spoil too much, but that will be good fun. But again, that's what all of this looks like, and I think that works when it's all done on the ground, and we can have just everybody basically. It's just... It's a bizarre one, because obviously each one of these sets is technically the base as well, because this is you're a No Man's Land last ditch saviour set for the start of the Lego Movie 2, and then you've got all of the other little bits and pieces, so they're all involving battles and all that kind of thing. And then you've got the big Easter egg on the inside of the Explore, because that is technically what it is. So you could just use this as a exploring land, or we could do something pretty cool with it. Tempted to try and get some smaller cars and get almost make it look like they're on a track, and they sort of, you kind of just go round and explore that land. That could potentially work, because obviously the inside of this thing just here is of course all of the bits and pieces for the Easter eggs for the new sets that have literally just been announced for all of the Explorer stuff. And of course the Explorer stuff from here is part of the Natural History Museum, so that links to the History Museum, and you could find bits from here and take them to the museum. It's just a weird story to be told, isn't it? But this is the drop tower. I do have the chain, but when the cats were kittens, they actually keep taking it off, so I had to remove the chain, but I do have that in one of those special places that you can't remember where it is, but I do have all the links to that. So yeah, that is that section covered. Hopefully you guys and girls like it, so that will be a good bit of fun. So now we are basically 2 tables done straight away without having to worry about anything too much, and I will obviously repair the tail of the T-Rex, angle the Jurassic Park gates in another upload, and we'll get that looking quite smart, and then all of a sudden that's 3 tables of space done. Now moving on to something else that has had a couple of tweaks. We know that all of this is there. We did all of this, and I think we did a good job putting all of that up, so that looks nice. And then of course we've got these 2 things just up at the top, and then we've got the nice path. Now you might notice there's a tape measure that goes all the way up there, which means the new Lord of the Rings set with the eye. So I'm just talking about the eyeball, which to me is the Lego Batman movie. Forget if it's part of Lord of the Rings or not, I couldn't care. For me, I saw it first in the Batman movie, and I haven't seen the Lord of the Rings, and it just works. It could go there causing a battle. it would just be a good bit of fun because it is part of this film, which is from the Lego Batman movie. And of course, it should have enough space on the bottom. And then we have this space up here. Now, there are some bits and pieces to do and some bits and pieces to tweak, like, for example, raising that table up. Now, that's where it gets a little bit tricky because that table then needs to go level with this one, but this table can be standalone here because I can't have those three touching because I've got to get into the back. So that means I either do an L shape here. This table just goes as something completely different and standalone, hence why potentially the Harry Potter could just stand as a standalone thing. And then from the Stranger Things, we could actually go into a medieval bit where you actually then have the castle of, obviously the actual, the Lego castle with the track going around the outside of it could be. And then the Harry Potter is its own completely separate thing. So there is potential for that, but we will have to see. And then of course, what is a temporary editing / dump will be the Ninjago. That'll be reborn as the Ninjago. But again, I could keep these two tables level because they are the same height, push this table over and just make sure that it does not pass that line. I can do it just, and then potentially have an L-shaped Ninjago display. So that is something that we will discuss in the future. But that, guys and girls, is probably one of the shortest Disaster Series videos I've done in a long time. But I just wanted to give you guys and girls an update of exactly where this is as it stands at the moment. And of course, without even saying anything, the good grief, the Disney stuff has all been put up and the castle has been completed in one of the later uploads actually for the disaster stuff. I did manage to get that up and in. I think that does look impressive. And of course, the fan needs a home. So that would be its own completely different upload, because I think I'm going to end up having to put that absolutely everywhere to figure out where I'm going to put it. But at the same time, I am kind of thinking I could take some of the blades off, put the new crane up on it and have it either been installed or dismantled. So there are options that I could do potentially with that. But as it stands, obviously, it's not going to be left there and dumped. So if you've got any ideas of what you think new set wise between now and Christmas would work in these different displays, obviously it's all a slow burn, it just takes time, you just do stuff bit by bit by bit. Obviously the problem I've got is actually building times. I don't have the time to build anything, especially when I've got so many videos to edit. I have got weeks and weeks. If I just didn't work and I did a proper 12-hour day every single day, I would probably need a month just to get the content off the cards and ready to be uploaded over the next couple of months, because that's how many videos there are. So make sure you check out the other playlists on the channel. Lots of different Lego stores now available, which have popped up from all the different Legoland parks around the world. And we've had the flagship store from Abu Dhabi just being uploaded as well. There's all the stuff from Dubai, you've got all the stuff from Malaysia, you've got the stuff from Singapore, all Lego related on here. And then of course, there's a lot of stuff to check out on the new Global Life Travels channel as well. So what I'm going to do now is wrap this up. I'm then going to start placing all the minifigures back where they need to be, so I can start tidying all of those up, because the reason why there's 1,000 minifigures all over the place is of course because of all the shorts that I do, and you do them every day. You just make a pile of them and then it gets a little bit tricky. And I've also then got to think about what I'm going to be doing with this, because I'm in the process of building that. And then I stopped because I ran out of time, and that is actually meant to be in front of a castle. So there is other things to think about in the very, very near future. But guys, if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Get your comments in the comment section with regards to what you think would work. Do you think the eye would look nice just there? Simple yes or no, just eyeball yes, eyeball no. I think it would look quite smart up in there, and then we could potentially add something else to the wall, and then that means this zone, this whole land is done, ticked off, will never need to be touched then until potentially swap a modular out. These tables I think visually work, and because you can see everything nicely, and you've got basically it's a vantage point, isn't it, up at the top, because you can walk all the way up the ladder, so you can use this and you can take photos of the whole area so you can see everything. Then you've got all of that, so somewhere to sit, somewhere to play, somewhere to take photos of, and a ride. And then you've got the 2 He-Man bits and pieces as theming. The tiling of this is going to be very, very important to make this area work. So that's something that we're going to have to come up with and think of. Harry Potter, we know what we're doing with it. It just depends if it stays there or moves over to the other side. Punisher display in the corner. Get rid of the fan. Get all of that tiled up, and then that would look fantastic. And then I'm going to have to bite the bullet at some point and start to repair all the Ninjago stuff, because I have an itch to get that done after coming back from the amazing trip over in the Philippines. That was just breathtaking, and those sets remind me of that so much, and it is my favorite theme as well, apart from obviously the Winter Village stuff. So with that being said, we're going to wrap it up because I am waffling on. So one more time, if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ta-da.